Hey tubers, it's Aaron here. This is the part 2 of the MacDev Droid rebuild video. This part of the video is by far the most exciting for me and possibly even you. This is where we get to see the gun shoot again. And also the way this gun's gonna look, it's gonna look spectacular. We may need some sunglasses to operate this in the sun, but that's okay. So the long-awaited time that it took for the parts to get here from Australia, which I believe is 2 weeks, they have finally arrived, and I also had sent out the eye covers and the back cap for the drivetrain to be anodized to a gloss black to kind of match the accent look of the gun that we're going for. I'm still waiting for them to come in, but as soon as they do, we will add that into the video, and we will also include a shooting video at the very end just to show this gun working and doing what it does best, and that's putting balls down range. So without further ado, let's get to it. So here we got the eye covers and the back cap for the drivetrain for the droid. We're going to send these out and we're going to get them anodized a black gloss. This should take about 1 or 2 weeks and should be back by the time the remainder of the parts for the dev come in. So to practically summarize what we have ordered over the last few months when it came to scouting parts for this gun, we did a numerous amount of things since we started, and also ordered a few things. So the first thing that came in, that was the subplate. All right, so we got the subplate. The Australia order was actually a big one and quite expensive too. That also came in. So everything's all in here. Let's cut that open actually. Alright. So let's get that. It's all taped up in there. Big string of parts. Alright, there we go. So here they are. This one here, I ended up getting to replace the bearings in the trigger and also replace the screw that goes in there. I'll get to that when we get to there. That's for the mounting of the grip frame to the body, the eyes, and biggest of all, the solenoid. And the only part that really made this possible here was the acquisition of this here subplate, which I've been trying to find for 10 years and couldn't find. But now in 2023 we have it all. Let's get going. After all those parts, we still had some arrive today, and honestly it couldn't have came at a better time. We finally got the anodized eye covers and back cap. Oh, this should be interesting. I've been kind of waiting for this for I think about a week and a half, going on 2 weeks now. So actually not bad timing, considering it was sent to Maryland from here. Alright, moment of truth. Ooh. This is pretty neat packaging. Oh dear, there they are, look at that. The black eye covers, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, that's not good already. But anyways, I'll get a zoom in and show you guys. Nice. A couple of fingerprints on that, but that's probably my fault. It's good. And I see they couldn't really cover up that one blemish in the cap there, so it's still there. Of course, anodizing won't cover that up. That's pretty well scratched. Alright, there we go. And they look pretty good. Probably look even better on the gun. I set the eye covers and the back cap aside. We're going to just have to end up leaving them off. We're going to be working in that area anyways to install the eyes. So let's further ado, let's get going here. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the temporary screws I had in here just to hold the grip frame together. They are not the right size just because they move so much, they're so long. But however, they are the right thread type, but just a little too long. So we'll just remove this screw here. Alright, so now that we can go ahead and take that apart, so we'll set the grip frame aside. So yeah, again, the two screws I was using, just a little bit too big, a little too long for that, so I can actually put them away. Up next, we'll take off the hopper feed neck here. There we go. I was wondering why it wasn't coming off. It was just spinning. Okay, put that off to the side. Makes a little bit things a little bit easier to work with here. So I guess what we'll do here, first off we'll start with the subplate. Okay, so we'll set that like that. That's our subplate. Honestly, I'd never ever thought this was going to happen. Alright, so let's grab our Allen key here. Alright. But before I go ahead and put this on or mount it to the body, let's just quickly wipe it down, clean any excess shit off it. And we'll go ahead and inspect all the O-rings, and they all look to be pretty good to me. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw some grease on that, and then we'll go from there. So in this gun, the subplate only goes in one way. Now it's just a matter of finding out which way it goes. So for me, what I do is I just kind of look here, and you'll notice a bunch of little channels, a bunch of ports, and they line up that way. That's how it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some grease on that, some good old MacDev Militia lube. Honestly, the best stuff out there. In my opinion. So I'll go ahead and just put a little layer here. Well, not too much. Get some of that out of the fording. There we go. Put some on the O-rings. And on the back as well. And we'll make sure that all of them get that amount of lube on there. I would replace these typically, but however, I was told that these O-rings were brand new, and I think I might have them, but I may not have them. But just for this video, I'm just going to go ahead and pursue. There we go. Stayed in there. So now that we've done that, let's find our reporting again. There it goes this way. Alright, so we'll grab our screws. I'll put them in. Not too tight, you don't have to, you know, reef them down with an iron fist. However, because this is aluminum, after all, you are putting these into, and that will strip. So it's best just to put them in until they are relatively snug, but not loose enough to fall out of there. Alright, so we are golden. So we got our subplate now mounted. So it should look like this. Remember, your 3-port hole should be closest to the regulator. That's kind of how I know. And the other way, like I just stated before we put the plate on, is to make sure that your porting lines up with the subplate holes. So, right, makes sense. Alright, so next we'll move on with the good old solenoid. Now this by far was the most expensive piece of this entire rebuild. So not only does it have, it comes with the solenoid, it just comes with the 2 screws to go with it, which is good because I actually have those here in stock. And hopefully I have a small enough screwdriver there for this, but I think we're good. Alright, so I will just set these down here, grab our solenoid. Now, so you have 2 faces, okay? So you'll have the bottom here. So this is what the 3 holes on the subplate. So this is what side this goes on. And on the other side, you'll just see the 2 mounting screw holes. And also, a good rule of thumb, the tail of this goes towards the grip frame as well. So we'll go ahead, we'll line that up. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the screws in already. Man, these are microscopical. And we're going to take it and we're going to just set it right on top of that area there. Alright. Now this is the tricky part. This is where I have made mistakes in the past by cross-threading these little teeny screws into this subplate. Dude, it gives me this chills just thinking about it right now, because right now I'm kind of doubting myself. But for my case, I hope I'm wrong. So let's, there's a good trick to this. I just kind of lift her up a little bit, find that hole to put the screw in, and then I go backwards until you hear that little click or that little bump, and you kind of feel the threads lining up. That's when I start slowly putting her in. Okay, I'm going to try another screwdriver because I don't think this is the one I should be using. There we are, that's the one we should be using. Fucking scared me there for a second. So I'm going to also do the same for the other side. Just going to go backwards until I hear it drop, click, and then straight down in. Take your time, go slow, don't push it. Because if you could feel any sort of resistance, that's when you know you kind of are cross-threading. So right now, we are on straight, and we're looking good so far. Okay, so I'm shaking. I've made this mistake before, and honestly, it's not a good mistake. So slow, slow, slow. Okay, so kind of do it like you're doing a tire. Do one screw partially, and then move on to the second screw. Get that in partially, and then kind of move back and forth until they're kind of evenly screwed down. Okay. Like I said, take your time. This is a very delicate job, this one. So if done properly, this should have taken you more than maybe 2-3 minutes. And that's both screws screwed in all the way. And I think we are good. She's on snug, no wobbly loosey. We're good. I can stop shaking now. So now that the solenoid is now mounted, the troublesome part of the whole job is now over. And it should look like, oh wow, look at that. Nice little MacDev sticker on the side of the solenoid. I'd never even noticed that. Fancy. Alright, so that's how you know it's a brand new solenoid. This one's never been used. It's straight from MacDev. Next up, we are going to do the eyes. Okay, so these eyes are universal. They fit in many, many different models across their board. These ones in particular are long just because they're for these. And I think the newer models are now wireless, and it's all like ports now, right? It's all plug ports type shit, which is actually really cool because it beats doing this every time. Alright, so in my opinion, I don't believe it matters which side the transmitter and receivers go onto. It really doesn't matter. It'll work either way. But before we go ahead, I'm going to take some pipe cleaner to these eye holes, and we're going to clean them up a bit. Oh, look at that shit. Clean them out really good. That way we are nice and clean, and there's no debris or paint or anything in there that shouldn't be in there that would disrupt the function of the eyes itself. So beauty. Okay, we got them clean. I don't know if you could see that. Probably not, eh? Okay, whatever. They're now clean. So what we do here with these is we take our plug end, we kind of feed them right up here. Okay, so these kind of go up, Okay, so that comes right up to the hole here, right in front of your solenoid. So if you can see that again, it'll come right up. Okay, and your eye should just see, and that angles down this way. Or this way, it doesn't matter how we feng shui. We'll get into that later when it comes to feng shui and the wires. And I'll show you why it's pain in the ass. Okay, so next step here is we're going to take our eye and we're going to just place it into that socket and slip right out. There we go. Then we're going to bend, pull that through. Just like that. Okay, so something sort of like that, and then you just tuck your wires back. So, and with these eyes, you kind of have to bend the diode down. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You see how I just kind of bent that in a 90-degree angle there? Okay, because that's how they sit. For a painless installation, they say. Eyes never been fun. And then once it's in, then you can really bend it down. And there you go, that's one eye installed. And it should look like this when you are done. There you go. Let's get the eye cover on. So with that being said, I'm going to also add in some detents that I have here. Brand new, actually. So we'll pop those in. These are spring-loaded ball detent, very, very old school. So again, grab our Allen key. We'll take the screw out that I have in there for the eye cover. I just kept them in there so I didn't lose them. And then we'll drop in our detent. And then we'll toss on our eye cover. So, left eye cover. Drop our screw in. Screw it in, lock it down. Again, not too tight, just enough to, you know, say it's tight, but not to the point where it's loose where it would also fall off. So, that is one eye done. Okay, so off to the second one. Same idea, just this time what we're going to do is we're going to bend the diode first before we install it. It just, like I said, makes it that much easier. I don't know why I didn't do that the first time. Because I know when I was teching these guns a long time ago, that's exactly what I did every time. Didn't hesitate. Okay, so again, 90-degree bend. Slide that in the side hole there. See if I can put this sideways for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And then again, so we're just gonna wiggle around our wire. Slide that up there. Okay, let's bend that as well. There we go. So we push it to the side. Comes out the top, and then again we do the same thing we did last time. We just tuck that into the hole, drop that in to the eye hole. Bend that wire down so this way the eye cover don't crush it. Good. E10. Take the screw out. Eye cover. So there we go. That is now 2 eyes put in. Just nicely slotted. There you go. Okay. Get all that grease and shit off. Okay. There we go. So now we have both eyes installed with the eye covers on. So now that we're done with that, we can just go ahead and throw this on. And also just tighten it up just a little bit. There we go. Makes it easier to screw on. Excellent. Okay, so now we could just go ahead and put the grip frame on. So we have our trigger frame here. Still boardless, we'll get to that. Now, when it comes to feng shui, what I generally tended to do with these guns was have the solenoid wire come straight down. Alright. And then I kind of wrapped these 2 wires around the Noid itself. Sort of something like this. Now you could do it that way, or you could have them both run down one side, but typically this is how I did it, and I didn't really pinch wires doing it that way, because if you have them all on one side, you're more likely, but yeah. There's a few ways of doing this. So what I'll do here is we'll grab all 3 of our wires. And we will just feed them into the grip frame. Alright. And we'll gently seat them. Okay, these wires, they're just kind of getting in the way. So, all right, so for this demonstration, we're just going to put them down the center of the line, and then we'll just do it that way. So again, drip frame. This has always been a little bit of a pain, just because there's so many wires. And yeah. But if you're asking if I'd ever do this again, yeah. I love these guns. They are so good. Like, I don't understand what everybody else's beef with them is. Like, they were the best, probably one of the better guns for their time. It was 2008 was when they were released. Well, they were released at 2007 World Cup, but all right. So we'll grab our 2 grip screws. Boom, boom. I believe that is a 1/8. Nope. I didn't think it was that big, but okay. So now we'll just go ahead and we will screw in this thing. Okay, so that's one. Now be sure to check before you screw them both down that you are not pinching any of your eye wires, because that could be a little bit of a headache if that was the case. Alright, so right now I'm looking good. No wires to be pinched. Down. Got a screw. These ones, you don't exactly have to reef them down, but however, I just use this way. I know the grip frame on the corner. There we go. So, for the first time in a long time, properly mounted. Alright, rolling on. What else we got here? So we got that out of the way. Next up, I'm going to do the trigger before we go any further. And this is what I was talking about earlier, and why I bought a, okay, so this little dowel here, there we go. So there's a dowel that holds in that trigger, but there is no small little set screw that goes in there after it. So it's missing that. So, and this trigger also is missing a bearing. So I'm going to replace that completely. And the dowel this time around comes with a set screw built in at the end. So they won't be going anywhere. So I'm going to pop one of these bearings into that trigger. There we go. And we will just put this back in. Alright. Reline up our spring and our hole. She's in. Once we're done, thread it down. Okay, not too tight again. Perfect. Beauty. Okay, so that's done. Get rid of that. And I'll put this bearing aside. Alright. Screws aside as well. Now, next off, we're going to install our board and connect our wires. So I got the board here. This is the stock board that was in this gun. We just took it out for the rebuild and the polishing of the entire marker, so I didn't want this to get damaged. So I do have all the hardware for that necessary. Okay, we got that. Perfect. So the board only requires one screw to hold the board in and one screw to hold the micro switch. And I just happen to have both of them here. One and crap too. So I just thought of something. We are going to have to undo that grip frame. Because I forgot that the switch is built into the, well, not built into, it's I'll show you in a minute. Put this in. So what I'll do here is I'll just install the board, and then we'll just take the grip frame off. Actually, you know what? Okay. Let's just take the fucking frame off now. Stay fine. This side. We're only going to take this off just to install the switch, and I'll show you that, of course. So again, we're gonna have to go back through the whole pinch procedure, make sure your wires aren't being pinched when we do this. Okay. The reason why I said we were taking this off was because we have to mount the switch here. That is on the board. So that goes up through and down. Okay, so I also got the mounting screws for that as well. Really crucial step there that I just forgot. So we'll install very small ass screws. So there's one. Grab the other one. Use this one. I think this one's a little more appropriate size. It's perfect. Alright, there you go. So now the switch has been screwed down to the back of the grip frame. See where that is? That's an odd spot for a switch, but hey, it is what it is. So now we can just go ahead with installing the grip frame for real this time. So again, we'll thread all these wires through. So at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of spaghetti in this grip frame. A whole lot of spaghetti. The more that's in there, the harder it becomes to manage as you're working. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so here we go again. Line all these up. I need both the transmitter and the receiver. Stand it up just like we did last time. Easy peasy. Now we put our frame screws back in. There we go. Okay, so when we go to install our board, grab our little mini screw here that holds in the micro switch. Okay, so there's some ports and some holes for that as well. We'll just mount that right there. Okay, now our screw for the board. I did have it correct. I swore I did. As you can tell, guys, I'm not really having a good day. I have them all day. But anyways, I have another screw here. Okay. Board is now mounted. Bam, so now it's just a matter of plugging everything in and figuring out which wires go where. And I believe they are marked. Yes, they are. Okay, so for these three here, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3. The first one here that we're going to hook up is the black one. It's the solenoid. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug that in. Leave that there. Push it up. That's pretty simple. And the receiver, which is the red and white, will go in this. Okay, and then obviously the transmitter, which will be right there. So there we go. So that's pretty well how she looks with everything all said and done. So the black one we plugged in was our solenoid wire, and then our red white, which was our receiver wire, and then our black yellow, which was our transmitter wire. Now the only way to test this is to plug it in and honestly see if it works. So for now we will just take all this spaghetti and we'll just go ahead and we'll just tuck it up into the frame here. Just get it all out of the way. Man, reminds me of an old school cocker. Because cockers came with this much wire, I believe. Wow. Quite a bit. And yeah, tuck that up in there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a battery, which I don't believe I have on me, but I will get one and we will be back. Okay, so we got the battery. We're back. Now let's just hook her up and test it. Plug her in. Just set it in there for now. And we'll just go ahead and right in your direction. Let's try it out. Boom! And to obviously test out the eyes. They work. Fucking A. Alright. I have a set of grip frames, okay, little grips that we're going to put on. They are the Droid grip frames I had laying around. They were from my old one that I had years ago. I just cut these in the panels because the front tongue part there ripped. So yeah, so you can go ahead and put on the grips. Got some screws for that as well. Alright, so lay one panel down. There's 1, 2, 3. So it's been a long time since I've seen these grips, but then at the same time it's been a long time since I've seen a droid too, in someone else's hands, that is, other than mine. Flip her over. Looking good already, eh? Almost done. I'll put the last panel on. There we go. So. Alright, now we'll just lock them down as well. There we go. So now we got grips on the gun. Okay, so in between takes here, there was something I didn't realize, but I do now, and it's a little silly, but I did forget that the screws I got for the mounting of the trigger frame, there's one short and one long. I had two short, so the one in the back obviously didn't reach. So I had to put one of the temporary screws back in just to hold it in place. However, it's still sturdy, it's still good to go, like we can still do the shoot videos. Not going to affect the performance of the gun itself, but however, I am going to have to address that. I am going to get the proper screw put into that, and I eventually will put that in. But I just don't have any on hand at the moment. I just got to put in an order and hopefully get some more. Other than that, I think we're in good shape here. So let's start. Alright, so next up, the drivetrain. So at the top of the drivetrain, okay, there's a screw that holds it in place. Before you go reefing on your drivetrain, you may want to remove this. And when you're done putting your drivetrain back in, you may want to make sure that you put it back in. So, oh boy, she's been in there a very long time. Alright, no big deal. Grab a swab, and then we'll just use it to push that out. Oh my god. Okay, so we'll set the gun aside. So at this point, the gun is pretty well done. The electronics are installed, the board's installed, the trigger frame is now mounted to the body. Eyes are put in, they work. All we gotta do now is just work on the drivetrain. So, looks like we're gonna replace everything here, to be quite honest. So, let's move the gun aside. And use these phones here to kind of put some of these parts on. Alright, first off, we're gonna remove all these ugly ass orange O-rings. And we're going to replace them completely with newer ones. Okay, so let's just start tearing it apart. So if you've ever owned a clone, the droid is very similar. As a matter of fact, it's the gun that they released before the clone. So the clone was based off of this gun. It was built just like it, but just on a little bit of a smaller scale. Actually, I can't say smaller scale. It's didn't really lose much size, but weight, you can honestly see that it lost a bit of. Clone is, I think, it's a 2-pound gun with a battery in it. So, a little on the heavy side, but it's okay. I think that's what the GTs and GTIs are. That's what I think. That's what they were. 2 pounds with a battery in it. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna replace most of these O-rings. Oh wow. Yeah. Alright, so it's a lot of orange O-rings to replace. And luckily for me, I have a MacDev kit for clone. But like I said, the clones and the droids were very, very similar, and they pretty well shared the same O-rings and drivetrain parts for the most part. So we're going to remove all these O-rings. Place them all. Some of these O-rings are kind of hard to get off because they've been on there a long time, and some of them are kind of rusty. There we go, that one just barely came off. So more or less means I should be probably cutting off the rest of them. And the worst thing is I don't have an O-ring pick anymore. There we go, we got it. There's two. And the bottom one, take that off as well. You know what, fuck it. We'll leave that one. Because it's not a moving part either. Take this one out, that one. Also replace that as well. Inside the keg here, there is a 017. So we're going to end up taking that out. I think I have something in here that might get that out. Oh yeah, it's still here. A little razor blade. So just hook it, get in behind it and get it out. There we go. So the valve. Yeah, you know what? Let's replace them all. These are 017s as well. Yeah. Like I said, some of these are pretty well fused to the parts. Alright. Wish I had a cloth or something here and wipe these parts down, but it's fine. Alright, so grab 017, so we'll start with the valve and we'll work our way out. Alright, and then we'll replace each and every one. Okay. So our 017s. Okay, brand new. One. Two. So you know these O-rings are good because they're nice and soft, they're supple, right? They're very pliable, they work, right? So again, we'll just set the valve aside. So now that we're done with that, I believe these are number 11s. They are 11s. Okay, so I got some of those as well. So we're going to put 2 there. There we go. Those are brand new as well. There's nothing in there, so I don't have to worry about that. Alright. Set all them off to the side. Now they're done. We're going to need an 017 for the keg. So we'll slide. Something like that out. Put that in there as well. Okay, there's one there. This one's 020. 0. Go inside the bottom of the keg. 1. There's one inside of the joiner. I believe that's what they want to call that. Okay, so there's a 17 in there as well. I believe that's a 17. So I'll grab another 17. Make some notes. And we'll put that right in. There we go. That's been replaced. Last but not least, bolts. So I believe that's the boat sail O-ring with a 15, so we'll put on a 15. And then we also have a bumper O-ring, which I believe is 16. And for the tip, that is a 15 as well. I believe that was our bumper, wasn't it? Yes. Something tells me the bumper was the 15 and the boat sail is the 16. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. And last but not least, a 15 for the tip. Okay. So now I'm pretty sure. Yep. Everything's okay. I don't see any cracks or damages or anything like that in there. So everything looks good, per se. I don't see any damage anywhere. So okay, so all these O-rings are fucking garbage. We can get rid of them, providing that when we do a leak test, we're going to hook this up to a tank, and we're going to see if there's any leaks once we get it assembled. So let's go ahead with that. So we'll start with the greasing of these O-rings. So I'm done with that. I'm going to leave the 20s out. I think if we have a leak, it's going to be one of those. But I doubt it because they are all brand new O-rings that I have here. So I don't use a whole lot because if you ever heard that expression, more is little or more is less, okay? You don't need a whole lot of grease. These guns do not need a whole lot of grease. Okay, so it's just a light greasing, nothing heavy. If you're having some stick issues, you may want to use a little bit more, or even just bump up your dwell just a little bit, and that'll take care of that until your O-rings break in. Odd, isn't it? I guess we'll find out when we air it up, won't we? Unless Buddy just, you know, took way too many layers of metal down I think that's what's going to start to scare me now. Because it seems to me like the tolerances in this drivetrain are very loose, and I mean looser than they should be. But we'll see in a minute, won't we? Okay, we'll do the inner of the valve keg, and we'll do each of the O-rings on the valve itself. You just want to make each O-ring look wet, per se. I guess this is the best term that we're using these days. Put my O-ring back in there, that fell out. Rub a little bit of grease on that as well. There we go. Then we'll put in our power tube. We'll screw it all back together. Okay. Joiner. Okay. And now screw it all back together. So for the outers, we're gonna. Okay, that's not dead. All right, that's better. So we're going to replace all of the 020s on the outside, and we'll install that, and then we'll see if she works. So I'm going to need at least a few here. So top, 1, 2. A lot of people say that these drivetrains are very complicated. They actually really aren't. It just looks intimidating just because of the sheer number of O-rings. But really, most of these O-rings are static and they don't move at all. They're just there to seal like a port or, ports. Alright, so this should be the last one. There we go. Now we can lube up every O-ring here. So again, just enough grease just to make them look wet and to hold a seal. So now we're done with that. We just make sure we take our hole from our screw, we're keeping that in mind, and we're also going to line that up straight. Okay, so straight up the body. We're going to push in. Okay, so there I can kind of, in the light, see the hole, so I'm just going to rotate that just a touch. There you go. Now the screw should just go right in there. Bam. Alright, now we can put our back cap on. Wait, first time. And that is it for drivetrain maintenance. Now we're done that. We should probably check out the reg as well. Why not? Reg's easy enough. So this will be the last part or last step of the maintenance process. comes apart really simple. Okay. You got your upper works and you got your bottom works. Your bottom works you don't got to do very much with. Just make sure that your little bumper seat there is in good shape and isn't dented at all. So with your upper half, your upper works, note that this type of reg has a shim stack. Okay. So I'm not gonna take it apart, right? Okay, I'm giving no choice now. I'm gonna have to. And we'll take our little shim stacks. So what they are, they're just beveled washers, practically. Okay, so we're also going to replace the O-ring in this one too. As well as that one. Okay. So we'll have to figure out what size those are. I believe they're the same as a 17, which exactly they are. So one's a 17. And this one, I believe, is 16. So 16 and 17. Okay, she's in. Our 17. Okay. Down the outside. Alright, beautiful. Put these two together. So okay, so what this is just a little plate, no bigger than a quarter. Yeah. Not a whole lot to worry about there. There's also a small O-ring on the inside there that guides the piston. So we'll give that a small little dab of grease as well. Do our piston. Again, not a lot of grease. You don't need it. Put that back together. And there you go. Pretty simple. Grab our shim stack, try not to lose any of these or drop them, because I don't know if they're replaceable these days. Probably not. So I'll just wipe a little bit of grease on this O-ring here. And there we go. Our body with whatever remaining grease I have left on my fingers and hands. I will put that in here. A little bit more here, dry in there. Okay. Take our shim stack, push it back in. There's an O-ring here, so let's put a little bit of grease on that as well. Alright, reg is serviced. That's done. So I think I'm done with the O-ring business for now, until we discover a leak, or if we discover a leak. So take that off. Install our reg now. All right. Next up, I have a piece of macro line.
1 foot, so I'm gonna have to cut it. It's been a long time since I've actually handled or dealt with any sort of macro line, so I think I need some cutters for these. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of stick the macro line on one end, and then we'll determine how long we kind of need it here. Out there. Round that back out a bit. There we go. So now we got the macro line installed. Excellent. Alright, so now we can just add on our bill. I think we're done. So we finally hit the finish line, ladies and gentlemen. Other than this back screw here, I'm going to work on that. I can probably go to the hardware store and get it. I don't even really have to email MacDev about it. Yeah. Get all this grease off of it. Especially on the rag. I got a lot of grease on the rag. Okay. That's it. We've officially done it. Okay, I had to stop for a second just to clean up the table here and get all this garbage off. So now that we're done, it's all assembled. Showed you that the eyes work. Before we decide to go outside and do our shooting video, we're gonna have to do one crucial thing, and that's check the pressure of the reg before we actually air up the gun, because I don't feel like blowing any seals at this time, considering we just got done rebuilding this. So, and the way we do this is with a reg checker. I'm not sure if you can go out and buy reg checkers, but however, you can make them very easily yourself at home. So mine was made out of an ASA from an old A5, and it just has a 0 to 300 PSI pressure gauge on it. That's it, nothing special. And you could probably build this for like $2-3, and honestly, they're the best tool you could have in your toolbox. So the way we do this is we just disconnect the reg that we just serviced a few minutes ago. Okay, and we are just going to attach. Actually, let's grab a tank too. So we'll get a compressed air tank on there. Important. So we'll hook that up. And all we do is we just simply take our ASA and screw that to the top of the reg. Screw it down. Okay. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but let me just flip the gun over, and I'll try to, there we go, do it this way. So if you guys can't see it, I'll get in closer and I'll show you. So these guns run at about 100 psi, and setting your reg at 100 psi is really good practice, because any more than, I'd say, 120, 125, that's when you're going to start having some damage and some seals blow, etc., etc. So let's air it up and check her out. Okay, so I'm going to have to obviously throw some grease on these little O-rings here in the 90-degree bends. But however, we are sitting at 100 psi, which is perfect. That's exactly where we want to be, just without that leak. But let me try that again, just to be sure that that's in all the way. Okay. So let's do this. Take a little bit of grease and throw some grease at the end of these. See if that works. If not, I'll just have to take them out and just replace the O-rings themselves. Alright, so this is kind of like a little bit of a trick. You can use grease to do this. Alright, put that in there. Grease this end as well. There we go. And then we'll just stick that back in there. That should do. Boom. Look at that. So we're set. Reg is set. Again, 100 psi. So we'll degas. And we'll remove our reg tester. Wait till it degasses. Almost forgot. You don't want to bust the seal. Okay, and then we just screw our reg back into the gun. Okay, so now I know I won't blow the gun apart when we go to air up. So here is the moment of truth, people, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. There we go. She's aired up. No leaks at all. Alright, so let's turn it on. Try to dry fire it. She shoots, ladies and gentlemen. Turn the eyes off. Shoots. I think we are officially ready for our shooting video, guys. The long-awaited shooting video. Alright, so I will catch you guys out back after I fix a hopper and grab some paint. We're going to do a little bit of a chrono, and then we'll empty out that hopper as fast as we can. See you out there. Okay, here we are. So we're going to do the shooting video for the droid here, the rebuild. So before I came out, I just did a factory reset to the board and just changed the firing mode to PSP Z bursts. So it'll be also capped at 15. And first off, we're going to do a couple chrono shots just to see where we're at. So remember when we set our pressure to 100 psi, that is, I'll show you what that's going to get us. So here we go. So 100 psi on the regulator gets us roughly around 279, 280 feet per second. So that's a really good number. So I'm pretty good with that. So let's load up our first pod and get going.
right. I'll try to get as close as I can here. All right. MacDev Droid, here we go, baby. Fuck yeah, baby. That's it. She shoots like a charm. Oh, and by the way, I finally got that screw in. So I ended up taking a little poke through my my parts kit. Sure enough, I actually had the screws here the whole time. They were just tucked away in another bag. So perfect, we got that going. So it's a proper screw in there. Sits flush, no bullshit, no leaks. She shoots phenomenally, and honestly, man, we fucking did it. We rock. MacDev Droid, guys. This is the 2023 rebuild. Cheers. Yesterday's shooting video was very, very good. I'm very happy, and it was just good to see an old gun that's been sitting around for 10 to 12 years doing nothing shoot once again. So it's been a pleasure and a bit of an honor for me to do this. If I ever had a chance to do this, if you ask if I ever had a chance to do this again, would I? Absolutely. Did I go over budget? Well, let's just be fair and say that we weren't under budget. So the way this marker looks now, I can't really see me parting with it just because it looks so damn good and it works so nicely. I might just keep it around for collectors, but if I do sell it, I will post up on PB Nation, or I'll even post it up on the MacDev BST Facebook page, and I'll have it up there for a pretty reasonable price. I'm not exactly sure what droids are going for these days when it comes to book value. I'm pretty sure it's less than 5, but yeah. This gun has all original parts except for one, and that is the CP on-off reg. Honestly, I don't really give a shit about it being a MacDev ASA, a CP ASA, or even a goddamn Planet Eclipse. As long as it feeds air into the gun and I'm able to gas it and degas it with ease and not have to strip the threads out with the tank, that's fine. I don't really care what it is. And as long as it's roughly the same color as the rest of the gun, it works. Because otherwise that'd just be another $30, $40 just for an ASA that isn't really necessary. Other than that, if you like what you see in this video, click like and subscribe.